You drove here for this.
He's my brother.
Hey, how was your trip?
How did I wind up getting roped into this? Oh, he ain't coming.
I'm not getting in that truck without him.
That is Alan Cumming. He stars in Drive Back Home. It is one of the selections at this year's Real Rave Film Festival going on at Prince Albert National Park, Waskesiu. And with us, one of the committee members who puts this exciting event on every year, Robert Hawkins. So thanks for being with us again this year.
Thanks for having me, Jeff.
So let's talk a little bit, before we talk about the other movies, because there's 5 other films that are playing on the weekend, let's talk about the festival itself. In broad strokes, what is it?
This is the 21st year of the Real Rave, the Waskesiu International Film Festival. And we plan to put on 6 films over 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We have 2 showtimes for each film, so if you work it right, you can see all 6.
Yeah, you sure can. And, of course, it's at Twin Pines Cinemas up at Waskesiu, a great place to be seeing films in a historic venue like that. So,
it is.
So let's, we have to get right down to business. Robert, Ghosts of the Sea. Another, we had something that's, I think, set on Canada's East Coast now, Ghosts of the Sea.
Ghosts of the Sea is a story about a Norwegian adventurer who dies in a shipwreck.
And this is a documentary.
Yeah, it's a documentary made by his daughter, and she searches for her father and her brother, who also went missing at sea. And there's a hint of jiggery-pokery.
Okay, all right, well, good. A bit of a mystery going on there,
Yes.
and that is a documentary. And there's at least one more documentary we'll talk about in a second or two here. But I do want to talk about, you often find some special gems that are award winners, and there's one that's an award winner from the Cannes Festival.
Yes, that's All We Imagine as Light. It's a film that's a joint production between India and several other European countries. And it's a story about 2 young nurses and their trials and tribulations.
Okay, fair enough then. I know we're going through them quick. I know. And we also have, I mentioned there's another documentary, but it's an animated documentary.
The goal is to make something funny, beautiful, spiritual, political, complex, simple, and true.
So this looks interesting. It's called Endless Cookie. What can you tell me about this?
Endless Cookie, to my knowledge, is the first time we've ever run an animation type film. And it's a story about 2 men, one born of a First Nations father and one born of a European father. And they get together, and over 9 years they make this animated film, and it ends up in Shamattawa, Manitoba.
Okay, fair enough then. And it's really quite interesting because, as you say, you've got one brother who's doing the interviewing and the other brother who's spinning the story. So it's kind of neat. And the animation style is unique, to say the least. Let's take a look at something, and I hope I get this title right. You Are Not Alone. It's a science fiction sort of a film?
Yes, it's set in Montreal, and it's a young man who's got a kind of a sad and lonely life, and then he meets a young girl, and he's trying to move things forward. But in the meantime, there's a sci-fi twist because some aliens are trying to abduct him.
Well, you know, that always ruins romance. I can't make it tonight, honey. Why? Oh, the aliens. And you know what aliens like to do?
Gotta go out with the aliens.
Ouch. Yeah. And finally, and this is also something to do with, you know, I say travel in some respects because we had sort of a travel theme this year. This is called Shepherds.
Shepherd is about a young man who leaves the rat race to become a shepherd, herding sheep in the Alps.
And so, but he's from Montreal, and he heads over to
yes,
over to Switzerland.
To France.
Yeah. Oh, France. Okay, there you go.
And while there, he has a woman volunteer to help him herd the sheep.
Okay. Do they fall in love?
Well, spoiler.
Yeah, a great lineup of films there, a lot of variety. For people who want to book their tickets ahead of time, like where do they go to get tickets, and do they make accommodations through the website, or they do that on their own?
They do accommodations on their own, but the tickets can be purchased through the website, which is realravefilmfest.ca. Real Rave Film Fest is all one word. Okay. And it's not festival, it's fest.
Okay, fair enough. And we should remind people when the dates are.
The dates are the 5th, 6th, 7th of September in Waskesiu at the Twin Pines Cinema. For those who would like to know, 5 of the 6 films this year are Canadian or Canadian flavored, and that was part of our theme, to get the elbows up.
All right, fair enough. Then that sounds like the right theme to have, and given the times we're in right now. Always a pleasure to talk with you, Robert. Thank you again, and looking forward to, again, the Real Rave Film Festival, Film Fest.
.ca.
.ca up at Waskesiu. Thanks so much.
And Happy birthday, Madeline.